just came outside here to do some gardening, and I found something that really surprised me. You know, under certain circumstances, certain people or certain things will thrive, you know, if the conditions are just right. Then there are some people who, under just about any condition, you know, they're just going to sprout right back up. You're not going to get them down. You know, you're not going to, you can try. You can even try throwing them away. You can stick them in a bucket and cover them with darkness. But don't you dare let a little piece of light get in. Because if you do, this might happen. Back in the fall, we bought a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin and carved a jack-o'-lantern for a little bit. And there had been this old 5-gallon bucket just sitting out here in the yard, and I had been throwing trash in it. And one of the things back in the winter that I threw in it, because the old pumpkin had just, you know, like pumpkins do, they had rotted. I'd kicked it off the porch into the yard and thinking, this spring I'll go and pick it up. Well, sometime during the winter I picked it up and threw it in this bucket. And lo and behold, I came outside here, and I want you to look what's happened. In here, among all the trash, now there's no soil in this bucket, just trash. And I picked this up because I had actually forgotten that I had thrown the pumpkin in there. But other than this one, I haven't touched any of these. There's a few leaves in here, and I do mean a few. There's some old plastic pieces, an old hose nozzle, there's a stick, some rocks, an old tin can, an old Bonnie planter cup, just all kinds of trash. Just trash. Plastic bags. And this was sitting on top of it. Just trash I'd picked up out of this yard. And I want you to look at this pumpkin. Under the worst of conditions, with hardly any sun and hardly any soil, I want you to look how it's thriving. Now, don't you think for a second that I'm not going to plant some of these just because they refuse to die. They refuse to give up. They refuse to go away. And you know what? Sometimes that's how we gotta be. No matter what you go through, no matter how bad things may look, no matter how horrible things may get, you gotta be like this seed right here. You gotta just keep going. And this couldn't have come at a more perfect time for a lot of us because of the situations that's going on in the world right now. But for me personally, it's an extra reminder. Recently, as I was putting in some garden posts and extending my garden out and making it bigger, but I was putting in the metal T-post, and I liked one big post, and then I had a few little small ones to put up. I was almost done with my job. And we have a T-post driver, and I normally leave the post driver sitting on the post after I drive the post because I have no upper body strength whatsoever. I'm weak. I went to take the T-post driver off right after hammering it. For any of you who have ever used one of those, you know it takes some effort to get that post in the ground, especially if the ground is rocky or hard, any at all, and you're lucky to get it in there. Well, I was just hammering away, and yeah, I got tired after every post. That's why I would just leave it hanging. But that time, for some reason, when I got done hammering, I just went to take it off. And when I did, my left hand, I guess, was weak. And I dropped that T-post driver right on top of my head. If you don't know what one of those are, I'll take you over here and show you. They are quite heavy. They range anywhere from about 16 pounds to about 25 pounds, depending on which one you have. I'll show you mine. There's mine. It's laying on that tool case, which is about the size of a large cooler, and it's just a tad longer than that case, and it's quite heavy. I mean, me picking it up ain't gonna show you how heavy it is, but the inside of it's hollow. It's a steel pipe. That end is solid, you know, so that you can bang on the post. And it's got two big steel handles that are bigger than my finger. And that sucker's heavy. And I dropped that thing right on top of my head from about this height, my arm's length. I came up off the post like this to lift it up off the post. And my left hand got weak and let go of it. And I couldn't hold the weight of it with just the one weak arm after driving the post in the ground. That's why I usually left the driver on the post to give myself time to rest before I tried to lift it up off the post. But for some reason that time I didn't. And I just went to lift it up, and I lifted it above my head. And I wasn't wearing a hard hat. I wasn't wearing any protection whatsoever. You know, I'm a country girl. I've been raised seeing people use these, using them. I'd used one for years. I'd never been hurt. I'd never seen anybody been hurt. I'd never even had a close call. Since I got hurt, lots of other people have told me, oh man, I did that once. Got 6 stitches in my head, and I banged myself real good. Had a big old pump knot with one of those one time. Because most people, when they go down with it, you know, to drive, if you let it tilt, I'm over exaggerating that. If you let it tilt the slightest little bit forward or backward, and it catches on the post crooked, it can tilt towards you, because you're banging down hard, you know, with that thing. And the least little bit of off balance, and you'll come down crooked, and you'll hit that post on the inside of that pipe, and it'll cause it to just, all that force you're using to come down ends up going towards you. But that wasn't how I hurt myself with it. I literally went to just pick it up and dropped it on my head, which makes me feel really dumb. And for those of you who watched my most recent video where I pretended to hit myself on the head, that was all pretend, and I didn't hurt myself. And no, my bun did not protect my head whatsoever. I ended up getting an ambulance called. They took me to the hospital in an ambulance. The cut on my head is about this long, from right here all the way back to about right there. It just busted where the pipe came down and hit my head. It just busted my scalp wide open. I don't know if you can still see it or not. It's all healed up now. I made sure to make this video after the fact, make sure there wasn't no brain damage, make sure that I'm healthy, you know, I'm still alive, and everything was going to be okay before I told you guys about it. I did tell a few of my friends, of course my family, and even my own son admitted, yeah, oh man, Mom, I pumped myself in the head one time real hard with one of them. But nobody had ever told me that they could be a danger. And I got to looking up online at how many people has hurt themselves with these things. And you would not believe how many. You don't have to go search it. Just take my advice for it. There is a ton of videos on YouTube and other places. There's doctors' reports. There's statistics. There's all kinds of things out there showing how many people's hurt themselves with these. And there should be some kind of a little sticker or something on the side of these things when you buy them saying, hey, wear a hard hat, because this thing is a potential danger. But there's not. There wasn't one on mine, and I don't know that I would have taken it seriously even if there had been. I want to show you the photos of my injury, but the only reason I'm going to show you my injury and the staples in my head after my injury is because I want you to be pre-warned. I want you to see how serious this was. I don't want you to think this was just a little cut, okay, that took a few stitches. The doctor said that he could see my skull through the break in my skin and my scalp. That's kind of scary. That makes you stop, and boy, don't think for a second it didn't, people. I'm a joking person. I can cut up and laugh with the best of them, but don't think for a second I didn't stop and cry my eyes out. And thank my God that it didn't crack my skull open. Because I'm thankful to still be here, to laugh, to cut up. I'm thankful that my daughter was here that day. We don't realize how much we rely on others until there's a situation like this, and we're extremely thankful that those people are here. But I want to show you the injury. So if you do not like to see open wounds, this is your warning. I'm going to show it in just a second. So this is your warning. Turn your head. I'll let you know when it's no longer on the screen so that you can look back to the screen. But right here is my injury. I'm going to show it now. And this is my staples. Okay, it's gone now. You can look back. I wanted to show you that for one reason, is I wanted you to see how serious it was. I wanted you to see how badly it hurt me, so that you will take the warning to wear protection when you use one of these things. Wear a hard hat and use precaution. Keep your mind on what you're doing. And I know when I'm doing really hard labor like that, there's always a chance of getting hurt, getting injured, doing something, making one mistake. That's why I try my best to keep my mind on but my mind wandered off onto something for a second, and I just lifted up instead of letting go. And yeah, glad to still be here. So I'm like that little pumpkin seed. I refused to give up. That injury scared me. It really did. It made me not want to get out here and work hard, you know. It made me fearful of my chainsaw, of running my chainsaw, and I've run one for forever. But now I'm like, oh, I don't want to do anything because I'm afraid I'll get hurt, you know, and I'll be gone, and my family won't have me, and, you know, just the fear of that just wanted to kick in to where it almost made me just want to stop doing anything. Don't do anything where you might get hurt. But there are reports of people just walking through their living room, you know, that have done things that have killed them. And the simplest of injuries could kill a person. So you can't just stop. You can't just quit. You have to keep going. And when I saw those pumpkin seeds in that bucket, sprouting up and refusing to give up, I said, you know what? I can't let this pumpkin seed outdo me. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep doing what I do. I gotta keep being me. And I'm going to. Thank y'all.